Hey there you guys, welcome back. Well, it's been a little over a month, maybe a month and a half, and as you can see, my VegeBox table garden has changed. So when I first got this VegeBox, I noticed that the lights would come on and then they would go off as the timer suggested, but they wouldn't come back on. So I tried restarting it and unplugging it and doing that sort of thing, but it just wouldn't come back. So I'd have to turn it on each day, which kind of defeats the purpose. It still worked technically, but it didn't work as suggested. So I ended up contacting the manufacturer, and they sent me a new unit. So it's not black anymore; it is white, and it works. So it turns on automatically after the designated time. So I turn it on. Stays on for about 14 hours, then it turns off for 10 hours, and then it turns back on. So that's perfect, because I don't come into my grow space every day. So, and I don't want to have to turn on a light all the time. I use timers. So, but with this one, because it doesn't turn on automatically, it has a little on button. So yeah, if I had it on a timer, it wouldn't turn back on. So anyway, unlike my other lights, I just leave them turned on and then the timer does the thing. So anyway, I'm just going on. So I wanted to bring you in, and we're going to look at these things. There's a little bit of leaf curl, which I don't know why. I'm hearing that it could be because of maybe a drier environment. The leaves are curling to conserve moisture. I uncurled the leaf and it looked, at first I thought it was bugs, maybe a whitefly, because my Berkmansia outside has whitefly. Well, Berkmansia has all the bugs because it attracts them. But when it had an infestation of whitefly, all the leaves curled and they kind of went papery along the edges, and everything was cupped. So that's what it looks like to me. But when I uncurled the leaf, instead of finding whitefly, I found droplets of water. They weren't sticky, it was just droplets of water. So maybe it's just really dry in the basement, in the grow space, which makes sense because I have to come down here often to water the plants that are here, and by often I mean like every couple of days. My carnivorous plants are looking terrible because they dry out so fast, and I don't generally see that. So anyway, there's that. So anyway, let's come in and see what's growing. Okay, so the chamomile is looking okay. It does have a little bit of leaf curl, but I think chamomile tends to have that little bit of a leaf curl anyway. Let me turn off the light. Does it make it easier to see? Maybe the less shadowing will be easier. So it looks really good. It's got a really strong root system, as you can see. So it's doing okay. Again, really strong root systems. The coleus, for whatever reason, but even when I grew them from seed before they went out for the springtime, they all went like this. So it must be something inside. It must be dry air. And the root systems are good, so it's not for lack of moisture. They're constantly moist. Another thing here is we finally got one oh, what is this? Rosemary. Rosemary has started to grow. Hopefully it's coming into focus. It's so tiny. So one of the seeds sprouted, and actually two seeds sprouted, but I think I took the one seed out of its little cocoon a little bit too soon, and once I put it into the sun, it kind of dried up. So it still had moisture, but it didn't like the sun. So whatever. I'm okay with just one little rosemary plant. So I don't need to add water just yet. When I transferred the units, I started fresh with a new grouping of water, another 2 liters. So we're still good at this time. So, and all the roots are now long enough to find their way into the water. So I don't need to water until it's maybe halfway done. But it is recommended that once a month you go in and you do a little water exchange. So as the plants develop and the roots get bigger, you'll notice the water will deplete a lot faster. At least that's what I noticed with other hydroponic gardens like this. The water, I'd have to water it once every couple of days. So when that comes to be, you'll want to use half the strength of fertilizer as you did for the initial fill-up. But if you end up taking the whole tray and dumping it to clean it, you'll want to use the full 10 mil and 10 mil. Let's look in here. I'm noticing quite a bit of algae growth growing in here for not having any sunlight. So that's not great. So I'm going to probably take this out and scrub it in a couple of days, maybe on the weekend, and then start fresh. Might have to do that once a month anyway, just to get rid of the algae growth. Algae growth isn't great for the roots, but yeah. Anyway, interesting to see though. Oh, I want to keep the roots in the water. There we go. I'll put this little cap back on. And I think I should just replace these little seedlings. Did not sprout. These were the little rosemaries. I'm just going to replace those with the little plugs. Actually, I'll move this one over here because the chamomile doesn't shade as much as the coleus will. So we'll just put the little plugs in. There we go. So less sunlight is going to get into the holes now. So it should help the algae growth, or deter the algae growth. So we'll just leave this on, and we'll come back to it in another month or so and see what's happening. Hope you enjoyed this update. If you bought a VegeBox table, let me know how yours is doing. Send me photos on the Plants and Things page. I'd love to see how yours are growing and what you're growing. I think that it's perfect for a little herb garden on the countertop. So anyway, until next time, you guys, happy growing.